Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Happy Friday to you and everyone else watching.
Happy Friday. We're at our new time today. So
Yeah.
hope we have some people watching.
Hope people are having their lunch break. Rather than just
Everybody's
their
at work
midday.
but us.
Hey, you don't call this work? Come on.
This is work. This is work. This is fun work, though. This is
Yeah, so
fulfilling work. Fulfilling work, put it that way.
we're going to try to do and it may vary, I guess. I mean, we don't have to lock into a time. I know stuff happens, and even today we were planning on getting the meal plans out early, and it just didn't work out. We had a lot. If you saw the meal plan already, there was a lot to put out. It just took a little bit longer than
It
we
just
expected.
surprises me how it does take time to get these meal plans out. Like we do, I mentioned it in the group today. We have a whole new system now that should allow us to post like at midnight last night, but it's just the two of us, and it just always becomes a lot more work than you would think. So please forgive if you see any typos or grammar errors. I mean, we're trying our best, but hopefully someday soon we'll get like proofreaders and people help us with the writing, and it's just all the little things that add up, and we're trying to make it as nice as we can, and we're doing our best, peeps.
There's a long list of jobs that we can fulfill before proofreaders getting hired. I tell you
No.
what.
I know that is true. There's a long list, but we have big plans, and we're coming along. Now we got our podcast launch, so that's exciting, and we're kind of like focused on that. Plus, that's taking a lot of my time because I'm editing it, which is fun and I love it, but it's just editing takes time.
So if you're not familiar with the podcast, you can check it out on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Heart Radio, Amazon, Podbean.
Podbean, our
Soon
little Podbean.
coming soon to Pandora. I'm just waiting for their 3-week approval process, or whatever they're doing over there. But yeah, almost everywhere. And actually, I submitted it to a couple of places. I wasn't even sure what they were. I think there's just places that grab podcasts. One was called like FM Listen, and I don't know. There was a kind of couple ones I never heard of. So if you have your own podcast, place that you listen to podcasts, check it out. Just search for SmartyPlants and see if we pop up. And if we don't, come to the private group and let us know, or message me or email us and let me know.
Yeah.
I'll see if we can get it over there.
It's been fun. I like it. I like doing it. And I feel like it's just been fun to talk. I mean, we like to talk, and we talk a lot, and that's the hard part about editing. I'm trying to let it be natural, but at the same time, it's like we talk a lot. So
we talk before the podcast.
We talk
and then
before
after
the
for an
podcast.
hour sometimes.
We go over it after the podcast. Maybe that's why we don't get any work done.
We'll do the behind the scenes and the blooper reels and all that stuff. Eventually.
Yeah. But it's been fun, and I mean, I feel like we're getting some pretty good feedback. We got a little bit of feedback, and it's been really positive. And Jenny posted today in the group. She said, "I have a complaint about your podcast, and my heart dropped." And then she just wants more. She wants more of it. Oh, I would love to do more than one a week, but I don't know how I'll find the time to edit that.
Yeah, and I feel that way and certain podcasts too. Like you're listening, it's like, oh, I got to wait a week. Just like with good shows and like anything else, we live in such a I want it now generation.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, especially with like shows where like on Netflix where it'll drop the whole season and you can just binge watch or binge listen.
I'm addicted to that. I'm one of them. I like to binge watch everything. I want everything right after the next. Like I listen to a podcast. I'm like, I don't want to wait a week. People post again.
and well, it was nice. Like I would listen to, find a new podcast. Like, oh, this is cool. And then it's like, oh, there's 100 other episodes. I can do that and go back, as long as it's not like a news or something that's outdated immediately. But yeah, and then I do go back and listen to like old interviews and all that kind of stuff too. So it's pretty cool. And ours is like that. You can go back and listen.
Yeah, but I love that. Like when I first started eating this way, and I mentioned this before, Colleen Patrick Gaudreau, she's like the animal advocate vegan who I love. And I started out, I think she started recording I'm probably going to get this wrong, 2012, let's just say. And wait, that can't be right. Can it? Oh, it doesn't matter. But anyway, she had like hundreds recorded, and I went back to the first one, and it was like years before. So it was really fun to know that whenever I wanted one, I could just keep on going, keep listening to them. So I do love that.
All right. So I have a bad feeling that this is not going into the private group. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I just looked and when I logged into the restream today, it just said there was an error. It couldn't connect to one of the streams, but it didn't tell me which one. And it said, we're working on it. And then I refreshed it. I logged out, I logged back in, and there was no error. So I was assuming it was working. For me to do a test, I'd have to broadcast to all the streams. Well, no, actually, I could probably just shut down. That's what I should have done. I didn't even think about that. I could shut down the other streams. I could turn them on.
Can we just post it afterwards to that?
Yeah. I can always do that.
Okay, that's too bad. I like having our group members live.
I know. I think that's who's waiting, and I can see like that. No one was coming in yet. I was like,
I know.
It has to be that. Yeah, I don't see. I mean, I don't see it. I guess.
Oh, plus we did say in the email we were going to broadcast at 1. Oh well.
Yeah, give me a sec. Go ahead and talk amongst yourself. I'm just gonna
amongst yourselves to yourself. It's just me here.
Talk amongst yourself.
Let's see. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just get started here. So we decided to just have a fun meal plan this week and do fast food remix. Now, personally, I haven't eaten fast food in a long, long time because I just don't eat that way anymore. And it's really, the thought of fast food is not appealing to me at all. But I don't mean the taste of the fast food. I remember all these flavors that I used to love. I mean, we used to get buckets of, I think we got Brown's fried chicken. Is that how you call it? Brown's fried chicken? Brown's chicken. Because there was always Brown's. It's all fried chicken. There was always Brown's and there was KFC. Our brother Steve liked KFC. He swore by the super crispy, extra crispy. But we always got the Brown's. And I loved that Brown's breading and the Brown's breaded mushrooms. Oh my gosh, those were good. And the little mashed potatoes with the gravy and the corn and all the things. And, so of course I still love all those flavors. I just haven't had it in years. And, so it's not the taste that we don't love. We love all these tastes, but I haven't eaten the fast food because it's just fast food and it's full of oil and salt and additives and, meat and dairy and who knows what they're putting into this stuff. I don't know. All the additives that I don't even know all the chemicals that I don't know what I'm ingesting. So I avoided it for years, especially since I've been eating this way. Even before I wasn't a big fast food. I'm going back to like my teenage years. Yay, Kim's here. She just
I just that's what I was trying. I shared the business group in the other.
Okay.
I don't know why it didn't work.
We're having a problem in our private group.
Audio, video, there's always a problem. Right after that proofreader, we're going to need a video engineer.
The first one we hire is a technical person. We get this figured out, and your audio on the podcast. We will get to it. But anyway, so the fast food is really, really tasty, but yeah, don't really eat much of it. And so we kind of wanted to bring all these flavors back because it's fun. And it's kind of like, why not eat it if it's all plant foods that are good for us and we can have those fast food flavors back? Because, it's all about the flavor. We love it and it's fun. So, yeah. Are you ready to go? Are you done? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was going to just mention, I had talked about the other day we'll just jump back a little bit. I know I caught you off guard with forcing you to jump.
You
right
did.
in.
You put me on the spot there.
I hear you. Just about, I did. I had done my supernatural workout this morning. I know I had talked about it the other day. But today, for those who are not familiar, Judi had, when I was over at her house for Easter, she has an Oculus. And
I've been talking about it here a lot.
Did we talk about it on here? Yeah, maybe we did.
No, I've just been bringing it up like for the last couple of weeks since I've been doing it because you're like, I remember you once saying, "Oh, here she goes with the Oculus again," and I was like, "It's really fun." Yeah. So
I tried it and I loved it. So it was my wife and I's anniversary, so we got it, and it's awesome. I've been doing it all week. I gotta say, I am sore, man. Today I woke up, I was like an old man in bed. I'm like, oh my god, my shoulders are killing me.
Especially those arms.
I know, my shoulders.
But it's a good sore. It feels good, though, doesn't it?
But today I did. So I did a high intensity one this morning, and it was like monsters of metal. It was like Megadeth and Metallica and Danzig.
Whoa.
It's just like. Man, it is so crazy. Like, I mean, it's so much fun, and
It's so much fun.
it
Yeah.
does go by very quickly. So I blew by my daily calories, I blew by my my daily time, all that stuff.
So
Just get
he
so
just told
wrapped
me
up.
that you could set up your daily calories and like what you want to burn off. I didn't even know all this. And so it's like you can set your goal, set your time that you want to work out. And so you have to show me how to do that. I have to look
Yeah,
into
I got
it.
to adjust it because I didn't know. I'm just like I think I put in 200 calories in 45 minutes of time, but the 45 is probably pretty good. I might increase that to an hour just to force me to maybe do it again later in the day.
Wow.
Well, an
Okay. So
hour. That's not.
I
That's
know,
not.
but that intensity level, like the
Oh
one
yeah,
I
I don't know
did
if I would do the.
yesterday.
I don't know if I do high intensity for. I did a heart attack.
I like to do a 20 or 30 minute and then meditate because they also have stretching, meditating, and
Well,
then boxing.
they have a
Hmm?
new thing. I just saw it. It just
Oh, they
popped up
do?
today. Yeah.
What is it?
Um, I can't remember. They called it something, but it wasn't
Oh,
meditation.
I'm gonna go do it after this. I didn't look today. I didn't work out today.
Yeah, I had to. I didn't do it just because I was pressed for time this morning. While you were doing your stuff, I ran and did my my workout real quick. But yeah, so I'm gonna post a video later. I know we were talking about one of the things in the podcast, so listen for that coming up. And I'm gonna
Oh, I
post
can't
the.
wait.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, I'll post the video. I'll get it all set this week and I'll post the video. But yeah, man, it was fun. I tried to record this one too. I hadn't recorded it. It's cool because you can, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's a headset. It's like a virtual reality headset that you put on. So you're kind of transported to another place in virtual reality that you're seeing, and it's very real looking.
Beautiful places around the world.
So if you connect it, like I've connected it to my phone and my iPad, I can broadcast it to one of those sources, and anyone in the room can see exactly what I'm doing on there, and they can record it if they want, and they could record my whole thing. The only thing I wasn't sure is if it was recording my voice or not, because obviously I'm making comments and I'm doing whatever, I'm breathing.
Me too.
And then I'm like, man, I hope it doesn't record my voice. Anyway, but yeah, it'll be fun. It's fun. Like I might post a few of those. And I was thinking, if you can connect to other people, we could like have challenges, or we can do some fun stuff with that.
I know. Well, I want you to friend me or whatever they call it on there, so we can keep track of each other.
Yeah, right. They have scoreboards and all that stuff. It's really cool. You can kind of do. So we'll get more into it. I'm just learning it this week. So.
Well, what I love is that it's just it's a fun workout, and I know I'm going to keep doing it, which I haven't found anything else that's going to keep me working out. But since it's just fun, you forget that you're almost working out because you're singing and you're kind of just moving all over the place. And it's like, I forget I'm working out and I'm sweating. Like, it's so fun.
Yeah.
So let's both keep up at it.
Yeah.
Get in shape.
I plan on it. All right. Now we'll get to the meal.
Okay, so I already talked about how much fun this was for us to create our old favorite fast food remakes. It really does bring me back to when I was a teenager, and just, I haven't eaten this stuff for a long time. And of course, I still love the taste of all this food. And, you kind of forget when you're eating it that it's made from 100% plant foods that are so good for you and nourishing your body. And you get the same taste, the same creaminess, the same smokiness, or a little bit of salt, a little bit of, tang, whatever it is, cream. When you put all those things together, you get deliciousness. And that's what we want more than the other stuff that's not so good for us. So, Phill, this was kind of your brainchild.
Well, I hear about these things all the time. And to be honest, I mean, KFC put this out way after I was going to KFC. Like I hadn't been, I was, I don't even remember the last time I was at a KFC, to be honest with you. But I see this all the time, and I was always like, man, that does look good. Kind of. My wife's family used to make something. She called it corn crumbly, but it was like ground up. It was like beef. So it was like beef and mashed potatoes, corn, gravy, same exact thing. So when
in a bowl.
So when they made this, we always kind of had an on-running joke. They called it, again, corn crumbly. So corn crumbly's always been a joke. But when I saw that, it's like, oh, KFC put out a chicken corn crumbly like your family used to have. But all those things together. I mean, it's like, man, if I was a kid, I would love this, like all together. I'm definitely eat things together type of person. My son will eat like his whole meal and then eat his cold French fries on the side. Like he won't eat fries with a burger or fries with a hot dog, whatever he's eating.
Well,
he won't.
how did we turn out like this? Because I'm the same way, and my daughter won't do that either. She will well, first of all, I can't really have a sandwich without something crunchy, like a pickle or anything, even like baked chips. Sometimes I do have just something, or tortilla chips, baked tortilla chips. But she will eat just the sandwich, then the fries, then like you just said.
Yeah.
And I just can't eat like that. I have to eat the pickle with my sandwich.
Right. So like this, and even this, it's like I put the corn right into the gravy on top of the mashed potatoes and then dunk the chicken.
Me too. Oh
like
my God.
That bite, to get a bite of everything. Like, I don't know. I love eating like that. Like,
So I worked on these breaded soy curls. I was trying to come up with something that was really basically like deep fried chicken. And we had already really made these delicious breaded soy curls. I know some of you have had them. They're so delicious, and they're crispy, and they're a little crunchy, and they're just so good even on their own. I mean, I guess if you're just eating them, they're a little bit dry, but I pick them off the oven pan, and they're delicious. So I don't know what possessed me to try to make them even better. I was going for that like extra crispy double breading. I was double breading them, and I was like, no, just stick to, Frank has this saying, like what is it? I'm going to screw it up. The opposite of good is great. Does that sound right? No, that's not right. It basically means once it's good.
The opposite of good is bad.
Opposite of right. I totally screwed it up. Basically, it just means when it's good, leave it alone. Especially if it's great, leave it alone. Don't try to make it better than great, because these are already great. So I went back to our original breaded chicken style soy curls, and they are just so delicious with this, because we came up with this, what do we call it? Savory brown gravy. Because we wanted something just we could add to the recipe box that people could keep on going to, because we were going to call it like the KFC gravy, but it's like, no, because it's really just a really good gravy for mashed potatoes. I'm going to make this one all the time. It is so delicious. There's no sauteing onions. There's no sauteing garlic, nothing like that. It's just put it all in your blender, pour it in the saucepan, and make it. And it's simple, and it's so good. So when you put all this together, simple mashed potatoes, these delicious soy curls, and then we just used frozen corn because it's easy and it's just as nutritious. If you don't know that, frozen is just as nutritious, just about as nutritious as fresh, because it's picked at the it's picked at the peak of ripeness and flash frozen right away. And so it maintains all those nutrients. So it's just as good. I think frozen is a little bit, maybe soggier than fresh, whatever it is. But I love them with these bowls. It actually makes it feel more like fast food. But feel free to, cook your own fresh corn cobs and cut the kernels right off the cob. That'd be great too. But all these things mixed together is so good. Like Phil was saying, when you build a bowl and you put the fluffy mashed potatoes and the gravy over everything, and you're dunking, eat them with your fingers. I was picking them up, dunking them just like Kentucky Fried Chicken. Finger looking good. I'm dunking them in my gravy. They're fun, and the kids will love them, and just fun to eat. And I think it's also fun to have like a theme night, just like Taco Tuesday or pizza night. It's like it's KFC night, KFC bowls. It's just fun. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, these are great. I do like that. It is a great combination. I think the original has and to be honest, this seems normal. This seems like a normal, like breaded chicken, potatoes, and corn kind of seems normal. I think they put like shredded cheese on top of the original, which seems like kind of the oddball out of the ingredients that they do. But it just seems like when I was looking into it, I was just searching, KFC bowl. I didn't even know if they still made them. I assume they did. All these things for years, and I was just never a big fast food guy. For years I didn't go to McDonald's or anything like that. If pressed, we had to, of course I would, but it wasn't like, oh, I sure can go for a Big Mac tonight. I just wasn't that type of person. But some of these, we're coming up, they discontinue, or they put them out limited release, only in this time of the year. So I really wasn't sure if it was even around anymore, but I think I have heard it recently. Like the bowl, either it's back or someone was talking about it. But it's such a great combo. All those things together, delicious.
Kim said KFC was not her thing, but this looks so good. I know it wasn't my thing either, but this is so good. I want you to try this gravy, Kim. It's so good.
And I was even thinking about that. Like a lot of people may just be like, I don't eat fast food. I don't like fast food.
I
But it's like,
know.
it doesn't even matter though. Like, I mean, the idea, it's like, oh, it's just chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn. You pull them apart and it's just a full plated meal. Put them together and it's the KFC bowl.
That's what I mean. We're just trying to give it a fun theme, but really of course, it's all plant food. It's just all delicious food that we're putting the components together to make it a little bit fun, So yeah, that's all we're doing. But you're right. It's kind of, I was wondering if this plan I think, a lot of people would be excited about it, but I had this little thought, are they going to be turned off? Because it's like, I don't want to eat fast food. And it's like, it isn't fast food. It's just a playful idea of fast food.
And not only that, I mean, like for me, I always look at things like what would my kids might eat that I can get them introduced into this stuff. Because my son was, I mean, up until even just like last year, he was steering clear of all this. He eats garbage 99% of the time. Now he tries stuff because he's, I don't know if his palate's changing, or I'm introducing him to stuff like the orange chicken. He loves orange chicken. He's loved orange chicken since he was 7, but regular orange chicken. Now with the soy curls, he's like, man, that's good. Now he's pounding down the orange chicken soy curls. And it's like, that's what I'm talking about. So things like this, I think, kind of open kind of younger people's eyes to kind of eating this way and be like, man, this is really good.
Right. If it's tasty, they're going to eat it. And not just younger people, everybody, we want the taste. We want the taste. And I know people poo-poo this way of eating and what are soy curls? And I don't like tofu. I was one of them. I was like, I'm probably not going to be eating tofu, way back when. I just didn't like the idea of it. And I really was one of those people who's like, why are they trying to replicate meat? Why don't you just eat meat? I mean, I don't know. I just remember having those same thoughts. So I don't judge anybody for thinking that way. I do understand it, but I really hope that people can just be a little bit open-minded. And sometimes it's hard to get kids, if they just, like, we've talked about this before. It's like, oh, is that vegan food? Like Frank's kids will say that sometimes, like, is that the vegan cheese? Like they get nervous. Is that what kind of butter? They're saying, what kind of butter is that? What is that? And they just want what they want. And especially with Star, I feel like I'm starting to introduce her to, whatever I'm making, because she's a really good sport at trying the meal plan foods. And she gives me honest critiques too. And she's a meat eater. So I want to, not a huge meat eater, but she does eat some meat. So I want to get her opinions on things as well, and she's been really liking a lot of the things, but I know that I'm introducing her to these things too. So she'll be, more apt to eating them. Right. It's just about the taste. It's like, oh, I like that. Yeah, I'm going to eat that.
Right.
So anyway, that's that one. And now you have a new gravy that's delicious. You don't have to just use it on your KFC bowl.
Arby's beef and cheddar copycat. Is that what we called it? Yeah. Oh, the copycat beef.
We have to add the word copycat, we think, because we are copycatting all these recipes.
I don't want to get sued by a major food. We're already trying to bring them down from the inside out. Let alone using their name and likeness.
Please don't sue us. We can't pay you anything.
Well, a lot of fast food chains are jumping on board with plant-based stuff, but
true. Right. That's awesome.
This isn't that.
Not that it's healthy, but at least it's a step in the right direction.
That beef seitan, man, I just love that thing. That beef one that we got down, man, that is just so good. Like
it is.
Now of course the wheels are turning. It's like, what can I put this in? I'm going to start experimenting with, we've been doing kind of sandwichy type of things, but I don't know how well it holds up in other stuff. I know we did the Italian beef. We have this one now. But just the flavor. I'm thinking like, could I put it in a ramen bowl? Can I put it in, like a stir fry? Like, can I do other stuff? Man, it just has such a good flavor. Because the first few times I made it, like as we were trying it and trying to kind of perfect it, if you don't get it that right balance of spices, it's sometimes it's not that good. Yeah. It's kind of bland, and you really have to kind of work at the spices, and that's not always easy to do.
Well, so you have to keep making it over and over like we did.
How many of these loaves do I have to steam? And then what do I do with it? It's like, do you want another bland, meal tonight? Left over,
Coat it in barbecue sauce. I don't know. Coat it in something.
But this, this beefy one is, man, it is good. I mean, they're all good. They're all good. We got them to the point. But now that I've been working with this one now lately, yeah, man. And what I'm trying to do too is I'm trying to actively remember to freeze things and thaw them and see how they work, because it comes up constantly.
Yes.
Can we freeze that? And we can't do everything, and we can't freeze every sauce and every gravy and every meat and whatever. But I'm trying to do that. Speaking of which,
what?
Guess what I had for lunch today?
Guess what you had? Something frozen a long time ago.
Yes.
What should I guess?
I'll give you one guess, and then I'll tell you. We won't sit here for a while.
It
was Christmas dish.
Stuffed shells?
No, the calzone.
That was my second guess.
4-month-old frozen calzone. We got pressed for time today, and I didn't make lunch. And it's like, hey, we're going to get this show out at 1 today. I'm like, oh my god, it's 11:30. I got to shower. I got to get this ready. So I'm like, what can I eat? And it's like I've been eating leftovers throughout the week for lunch, so we really didn't have much left over. So I just went to the freezer. It's like, what? Maybe I could thaw soup or whatever. I'm like, what is this?
And you're like, it was amazing.
Well, then I'm like, well, it's frozen salad. It's like a brick, and it was a row. It was like I cut like the end off of the last thing, because at Christmas, I made like 5 of these things. I was making them over and over, because we made it, then I made it again, then I made it for my brother, then my nephew was in town, then I made it for Christmas or whatever. So I was like, there's so much.
So how was it?
I didn't have time, so I'm like, I'm gonna thaw. I can't thaw it and then like heat it in the toaster oven, which is what I would probably have done. So I put it in the microwave for like 8 minutes or whatever. It came out great. Even the dough, like the bread, was pretty good. I thought it was gonna get rock hard and soggy, and man, it came out good. I had 3 pieces of calzone right before the show. It was good, man. It froze very well. So had I let it thaw for a day and then put it in the toaster oven, I think the bread would have been a little bit better. But the bread was still kind of soft and spongy. The crust was really good. It was really good.
I haven't had that since Christmas, since you made
it.
Till today. You see, you never know what's in your freezer. That's a happy surprise. I love it.
I did stumble across it a couple times, like looking for stuff. It's like, oh yeah, the Christmas calzone. Like put it back.
Midnight snack, Christmas calzone.
But the seitan does freeze very well, and so if you make the roast and you I mean, what we do is we kind of repurpose it. We have different stuff throughout the week.
Yeah.
And we did, like, I made 2. I don't know if anyone watched the video on Monday. I had one done and one I was making it just so I could show like the made loaf and the, making
like a real cooking show.
Right. So we ate the other one, this week, and then I had one left over. It's like, oh my God, I'm not going to eat like 4 more meals of seitan. Like, so I'm like, well, I'll freeze this and see how it freezes. But I know in the past I froze the slices, so I would slice it and then freeze them on like parchments, and just take it out, thaws in like 15 minutes the slices, and that comes out fine. So I'm assuming the whole loaf will freeze fine, but we'll see. I'll take that out in a week or so and see how it is.
I'm so glad you did the video, because it is so easy to make this, and it seems like a little bit, again, like I've said before, maybe intimidating to make your own seitan roast. I would have thought that before I tried this, and it is just so easy. I mean, really, you just mix the dry ingredients. It's like just as easy as a boxed cake. It's like you mix the dry ingredients, the wet, add them together, and it pretty much forms. You just pat it into a roast. That's all you do. Phil did the video, so if you watched it, you'll see how easy it is. Then put it in your steamer for whatever it is, 50 minutes, and it just does its thing, and it's done, and you have a roast. Just let it cool and slice it right up. I mean, it's so easy. Kim just said the flavor of the beef seitan is amazing. I want to make hot roast beef and gravy sandwich out of it with mashed potatoes. Exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do.
I'm just going to say that. Then we can replace that chicken and have it with mashed potatoes.
Yes, and you do the slices with the new gravy from the KFC copycat bowl and mashed potatoes, which are just so simple mashed potatoes. That's it, Kim. I'm so good. It's exactly what I do.
And that's part of this whole thing is once you have that roast, I mean, again, Kim, your wheels are spinning. That's the whole, and that's
right. That's what we want.
It's like once you have that roast, it's like, man, I could put this in a lot of stuff. I could make a seitan Wellington. Probably.
Well, was it Kim who just did that with the juice? Yeah, she made she took the beef, Italian beef. Yeah, and made, what was it, a soup or something? She mixed it with the white beans. That was such a great idea. That looked so good. Exactly. Just using the leftovers it all works together. You just start playing with it, and it's fun because you're like, this is delicious. It's all the leftovers I have in my fridge.
Judy's right though. Sometimes you'll do that, and it's like, man, this came out so good. What did I do? Like you're just throwing it together to have a lunch or a dinner or something, and then it's like, man, this could be a great meal.
Yep. Got to write them down.
So this is the beef and cheddar. So this is something I was an Arby's fan, and looking back, I mean, for one, Arby's was so expensive compared to all the other fast food places. And we lived right by. Well, geez, we lived like on Restaurant Row in our old house. It was like Arby's, McDonald's, White Castle, Burger King. Back in the day, Ponderosa, and Pizza Hut, KFC.
Wow.
It was all right there, right? Italian U-boat pizza. Hot dogs, like
it was all in not even
2 blocks.
A
2 blocks.
Couple block strip.
One after the next. Irv's for red hot lovers.
You worked there.
My first job. But in comparison, I mean, Arby's, when everything, and I'm just thinking back, everything was like $1. Hamburger at McDonald's was $1. Arby's was like $4 or so. It was like 3 times the price or 4 times the price of something else. I really didn't eat there very often.
I never ate there because it was pretty much at the end of our street, just down a block. But Mom always said, like, I can't think about eating that meat that sits out all day.
And it's like iridescent sometimes.
I put that in my head when I was a kid. And I was like, ooh, I can't eat that meat that sits out all day. So I never ate Arby's, I don't think, back then.
But yeah, the beef and cheddar, one of their most popular sandwiches. And they do serve everything on that onion bun, which I looked. I mean, I could not find. I wanted to have like a nice whole grain onion bun. That would have been great with the onions right on top. Like that's the whole thing. Could not find it. So we did the next best thing and just toasted them and sprinkled them right on the sandwich.
Hey, that works great though.
I like that toasted onion taste. Yeah,
that's such a good idea because they're just minced onions that you toast up I put them in my toaster oven for a minute and they just get nice and brown and crispy. And then just like you can see in the sandwich, just sprinkle it over the cheese sauce and you just get that oniony flavor as if they're on the bun. It's so good. And it's a whole grain bun. I mean, it's just so good like that. Great idea. But they don't need to be stuck to the bun.
No, yeah, of course. Just watch them because they do burn. I burned the whole first batch. I'm like, I'll put it on, whatever. I'm like, I'm just in the kitchen working. It's like I'll put it on for a couple minutes, see how it is. It was like 2 minutes. It's like, oh my god, they're totally burned. I took my eye off them, and they burned. The whole thing burned. It stunk. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. About a minute, that's all it takes, and they all turn brown.
So with this one, you want to take the beef seitan roast and slice it as thin as possible, just like you would regular roast beef. I mean, like what I remember of roast beef being delicious was when it's sliced super thinly for sandwiches. And even Julie, when we first made our first seitan roast, she was like, I even have a meat slicer because we like it super, super thin. And I was like, wow. Yeah. I don't have a meat slicer, but I just use a super sharp knife and you could get it really thin.
Yeah.
And just cut. I would do like, a big pile for these because it just tastes really nice like that rather than a slab. Just think about roast beef, like the light, fluffy. It's just it's a nice texture that way. And then that's our smoked cheddar cheese sauce. Another component, which we're trying to reuse our components so people get familiar with them. It's just super delicious. And like I said earlier, we're not going to keep reinventing the wheel when we already have it. And it's so delicious. And
I ate these sandwiches for 4 days, man. They are really good.
They are killer.
And with the onions and the seitan.
It's killer. And Frank was even like, why haven't we had this before? And it's like, I don't know, because we've had all this in our lives for so long. And it's just like, the idea is we're putting things together and showing you how to do these things and giving it a fun name, because right. I didn't think to put the cheddar cheese sauce with the, sliced thin shavings of the seitan roast, and the onions just to top it off. Frank did put dill pickles on his because he loves pickles on everything, but I made him try it without the pickles first.
Yeah, I mean, anyone could put it. I'm like,
whatever you want, right?
I would put onions on this myself, like raw onions too. I like the crispy. There's something about those dry minced onions that I like. It's a very specific flavor where it doesn't taste like fresh onions, of course.
No, right.
But I love like raw onions on things as well. Mm-hmm. So I would actually put a combo. I have like I made like I made way too many of these dried onions when I made them. So I made I think the recipe is like 1 tablespoon for 4 sandwiches. I think I started with like 3 tablespoons. It's like, holy cow, I got a quarter a cup of, raw, these onion bits.
Toasted, yeah.
But yeah, I've been sprinkling those on everything. But just that combination, I don't know if I would have pickles on this, but I can definitely see raw onions on there too.
Oh, I forgot all about the Arby's Red Ranch sauce. Yeah, I didn't want pickles on this, and I'm a pickle lover. I love pickles. I love them like with my sandwich, but I don't necessarily like them on my sandwiches, but I like to eat them on the side. But for this sandwich, we also created, this is a brand new, well, we did call this one Arby's Red Ranch sauce because copycat, because I don't know what else we would be putting this on, but it is a standalone, isn't it? Yeah.
You never know. I mean, you
never know.
Yeah.
But if you've been to Arby's and I do remember, as much as I say I didn't eat at Arby's, I do remember the sauce.
I do remember eating that sauce over
I do remember that sauce packet was
delicious. Can I help you, ma'am? Just here for the sauce.
I think my friend Chris loved those roast beef sandwiches, and I would just eat the sauce.
Yeah,
but the sauce on this, you can, okay, so we tried it with and without because this, like I said, the sandwich is so good. You don't really even need the Red Ranch sauce because it's so good without it. But the Red Ranch sauce gives it just that burst of zing, so that's like the creamy smoked cheddar with, it's really good with the seitan, but then that little burst of zinginess is like so good. So try it both ways. See what you think.
With or without?
I loved it with.
All right.
That one's really easy to make too.
Oops.
They're all easy to make this time.
Move on to the McRib. Now, the McRib is, I remember this thing coming out and around it, and I'm sure I've gotten, what was always weird about it was, you're right, I posted it in the letter or whatever. It was always kind of shaped like ribs. And again, it was just a pressed meat patty. Like it was just, they had a form.
So weird that they shaped it like ribs. Those are bones.
Well, it was funny because when I was making, I'm like, I wonder if I could do that. Like, I wonder if that would enhance it. That's like, well, no one's going to go through the effort of just making it look like ribs.
No, not people who are serious plant eaters. They probably don't want it to look like ribs.
But I did, like for this one, I did slice it a little thicker because that was like, it was like a patty. It was like a thick, I didn't want it too thick.
Like a rib, right?
About a quarter of an inch or something like that. But I do like it a little thick just because sometimes the sauce drowns out the flavor. Like I wouldn't put the shaved roast beef in the sauce because it would be so much sauce and it would be hard to taste the seitan. But on here, just making it a little thicker, I liked it a little bit thicker for sure.
Plus grilling it and all that, or,
right, yeah, the grilling.
Searing it if you don't have a grill. Grilling it is really nice because it gives it that flavor and the grill marks, not that you can see them, but it's just kind of a nice little addition. But you could also just do it in a grill pan or a nonstick pan just to like sear it a little bit.
And you don't you can, so we did it both ways. So like we had them, we just cut it and threw it in, and then I cut some and grilled it as well. I think the grill helps, for one, it does kind of create a little bit of a crust on the outside. And I think the sauce sticks to it a little bit better as opposed to the, ungrilled seitan where it's kind of slick. So my wife had the ungrilled and I had the grilled and we just kind of tried them. But it seemed like the sauce stuck to this one a little bit better. And just that grilled taste, like that kind of that charcoaly, a little bit of that grilled taste is in there as well. So I do like them grilled. I didn't know. Again, I was just trying it. Let's see how tastes grilled, because with ribs, that's typically what people do. You put a rack of ribs on the grill.
It just gives it that extra little something. But you don't have to
smoke this that seitan. I wonder if you could put it in a smoker and smoke it.
Ooh, we can try that.
My neighbor's got it like a real smoker. I don't have a smoker.
I don't have a smoker. Let's try it.
I might have to try that.
We've got a whole summer of experimenting to do.
Hey George, you mind if I smoke my loaf of seitan in your smoke?
Why would he?
You don't even know what the hell that is.
So if you haven't made our sweet and sassy barbecue sauce, this one is so good. And yes, you can use your own barbecue sauce if you find one that you like, for sure, make things easier. But this one isn't hard. If you look at the ingredient list, we've said this before, it does look like a long list, but it's a lot of spices. And so it's like, just get everything out. All you do is like throw them all into a saucepan. That's it. So just set everything out and go right down the list. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it goes really quickly. And then all you do is let it simmer for 10 minutes and it cooks down and thickens. And don't taste it till it's done. And then when you taste it, you're going to be like, wow, that is so good. I just made barbecue sauce because that's what I did.
I got to say, that is one thing. Like I don't think I may have made barbecue sauce once. You gave me a barbecue grill book a long time ago, remember?
Oh yeah.
And I think there was a sauce in there, and I think I tried one in there. And I don't know. I don't remember it blowing me away. I don't remember ever making sauce again. But I got to say, we've tried a ton of different barbecue sauce. So for one, it's almost impossible to find sugar-free.
Sugar-free. Yeah, you can find oil-free, but sugar-free is
they're there. We find them. They are there. But even that, there's just never really a great balance. Some of them are like real tangy, and some of them are too smoky, and then this is too sweet. And it's just so much, and it's just like, man, I wish there was just something that had a good balance. And I got to say, not to pat us on the back, but that is. It's probably the best I've had out of all the stuff we've tried at the store, because we have like 3 in the fridge now. And when this ran out, we just had more of this last night. What did we have? Barbecue. Oh, it was the same thing. We just had the last of the seitan last night. But I said all we have is the other barbecue sauce is gone. We were pressed for time. I'm like, we have 2 in the fridge, and it's like, oh, that's terrible. It's like, that was like $6 barbecue sauce. Like, you bought for a barbecue or something.
Not after you have ours. I know.
So yeah, it is super easy and quick. And man, what's great about it is even last night, I took what they had, and it's like, all right, I'm going to add a little bit of maple syrup. And I'm going to add a little bit of, a touch of this. I'm going to add a little hot pepper to spice it up. You can do that with this. You can make the base recipe, and it's like, I want it a little smokier. I'm going to add a little smoked paprika or a little liquid smoke. I like it a little sweeter. I'm going to add a little bit more maple syrup. You can really tweak it out on how you like barbecue sauce. But right out of the gate, man, that is probably the best stuff. And I always forget. It's the first time I made it. Now it's going back, a year and a half when we made this. It blew me away. And it's like, I don't eat a ton of barbecue. And we eat so much new food. It's like,
I know, that's why you forget.
But man, when I made it, it's like, oh man, that's good. My wife, this is delicious. It's just so good. Make it. Take the 10 minutes and make that sauce, because it is so good.
10 minutes, that's it. And everything that's in it. That's kind of what I want to say. There's nothing, it's all good stuff. So why not? You could even make a double batch, get your own bottle, keep it in the fridge. It's just a little bit of an effort.
Thaw a couple of those tomato paste balls out and make a sauce.
In your freezer. Talk about that in the podcast. Yeah, that is my favorite barbecue sauce. And the thing is, like, I'll use this baked bean example. Like, I was going to make these homemade beans last summer and do my own sauce for the baked beans, which I have. Did I do it? I can't remember. Maybe I did do it. Or maybe I just didn't buy them. Anyway, I was just thinking, well, I could get vegan baked beans. It was like we were having a barbecue. So I ran out thinking, I'm going to save time. I'm going to buy these vegan baked beans. I don't have to buy pork and beans. So I went and I looked and I found them. I was so excited. I said, okay, one thing I don't have to do. And so then I always read labels. I turned it around and I was like, what? There's a list this long in the beans. And it was high fructose corn syrup. And I was like, no. What am I doing? See, I have moments like that where I'm trying to save time. And it's like, I'm just not, now I don't want that. I don't want to put that in my body. I don't want to serve that to my daughter, or my family. It's like, So
we'll come out with
I might have had beans at that barbecue, but
we'll get some good barbecue. We'll get some good 4th of July barbecue meals out this year again. That was
we
fun.
We could put like a dollop of this sauce in the beans.
Yeah, right.
That would be good.
Barbecue baked beans. Because I make that a lot too.
I'm craving those right now. Barbecue baked beans.
My kids call them Grandma Tita's baked beans, because
I always loved baked beans.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm ready for summer. No, okay, let's just have spring first, because it's still cold here in Chicago.
I am ready for summer for sure.
Anything else?
No, it's good. It is good with the pickles and onions. It is a good blend of things on there. This is barbecue. I usually eat plain. I don't put a lot on there. Sometimes there's like coleslaw I like to add on there. But again, I kind of stuck to the original with the onions and the pickles. And it is a good mix. I do like pickles on a lot of stuff too. Like, you like them on the side. I like them on sandwiches a lot too. But on barbecue, I never put like barbecue and pickles. It wasn't really a thing on my radar to do, but it is a good combo. I gotta say, I do like them. You can eat it with or without. You can eat just the meat, the seitan and the barbecue sauce if you want, but I like all three together. It was good.
So we also have a barbecue soy curls sandwich on the site, which is really, really good. Also, where we shred it. So it's like shredded pulled chicken. What do they call it? Pulled pork or pulled chicken. It's all shredded up, and the same barbecue sauce is in it. That's another delicious. If you want a barbecued sandwich, that's another one. But see, we're just trying to mix things up, and like this seitan is vital wheat gluten, so it's a little bit more processed. I wouldn't even consider this a minimally processed food. So if you know this lifestyle and how we eat, that's more processed, because basically what they're doing is taking the gluten out of like wheat, and they're just taking the gluten out and making it into a powder. So it's the one good thing is it's protein. So we're okay with it. Some people who eat this way might not be okay with it, but that's okay. We're okay with it because it's not, for us, I don't have any problems with gluten, and I just like the texture it creates, and it's protein. There's nothing added to it. It came from that whole grain. So we're good with it. But we're just trying to mix it up and give you new tastes and textures, because, the soy curls are soy. This is vital wheat gluten. Sometimes we use beans or lentils or, whatever it is. When it comes to these meatier things, we kind of do like making like our crumbles, for the texture. So that's what we're trying to do. So it's like gives us the as well as all these great flavors. Even if it's a tiny bit more processed than most of our food. Most of our food isn't that processed, but we have that. What else? Sometimes we use sriracha. Sriracha. I'm teaching him how to say seitan. He's teaching me sriracha. And what else? I guess that's it. Not too many things. No. All right. That's all I wanted to say about that.
All right. Moving on. Oops. And I think this is being released soon. Like I've been hearing about. This is what started. It was like the Mexican pizza's back, and it was just like, oh, we should do like a release, like our own release on the.
Oh, really?
Mexican pizza.
I didn't know.
Yeah, so I think it either just got released or they're just about to re-release the Mexican pizza. I don't know. I don't follow, but I think I read something online that it's like they're relaunching it or they're doing something. They're bringing it back, I believe.
Bring it back, because it sure is good.
I'll get all these here. There we go.
No, eat ours instead. That's what I should say.
So just a little bit of a twist on Taco Tuesday if you want. So you bake the shells or the crusts super crispy on this, and then we just kind of layer everything up. There's the beans, there's the taco crumbles, there's the sauce, which it's like a Judy put it in the thing. It's like a enchilada. Yeah, enchilada sauce, or
that's
a taco
closest to.
Thicker taco sauce. Taco sauce I was trying for more of taco sauce, but that's like super thin. I don't know. I wanted something, it had to be thicker because one, I didn't want it just soggying up the crust.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of sit on top a little bit. So I needed a little bit of density to that.
It's really good. Yeah. It kind of zings it up too. But first of all, the crumbles, again, the components are all good. How could you go wrong? The crumbles are delicious. The smoked cheddar is delicious. And then this taco pizza sauce that he came up with is just a little bit of a zing that it just brings out the flavor of the crumbles in there. I mean, it's just really, really good. So yeah, on its own, just like you wouldn't eat, any sauce, you wouldn't eat ketchup with a spoon. It might be a little bit too much. So when you make this, it might be the same way, or just like any taco sauce. But when you mix it in, then it becomes amazing. Yeah. And these are just whole grain tortillas that we crisp up first. So if you can find whole wheat tortillas, the bigger ones, like we're always looking for these burrito size tortillas, because then you can make a whole pizza. If you can't, I've also made this with just corn tortillas, and then it's just mini pizzas. So those are really delicious too. And I don't even slice them that way. I just basically just pick them up. Yeah, the whole thing. But it's nice and crispy. It's just, there's something really nice about a crunch when you eat this. It's just like a crunch into that.
And it doesn't, and it's not like tacos that, again, the downside of tacos is, you're biting into them and they fall, like a crispy shell taco and they're falling apart, they're cracking. What I liked about this is you can kind of eat it like a pizza and it doesn't really crumble apart in your hands. It's just nice to have. But this was, it was great. I liked all the mix of the beans, the sauce, the meat, the crispiness, the smoky cheddar, like all those layers going on.
They're absolutely scrumptious.
It's not super heavy, it's not like a super heavy meal, but we had like whatever. I ate one myself. My wife ate one. It's a good size. Even eating two might be would be a little bit much, but again, it depends on the size of your tortillas. I think these were the 8-inch that we used, but Jud's right. If you find the bigger burrito size, you can make like a fuller sized pizza, like a small pizza.
But I like making them with the corn because I like corn tortillas too, and they're just like little mini size.
Yeah, right.
They're good.
Those would be a little harder to cut, though.
I don't cut them. No.
Yeah, that's what I said.
They're too hard to cut. They're too hard to cut.
Well, like for these, I use the pizza cutter. I put it right on the thing. Whoosh,
yeah, that works.
Yeah, perfect.
That works with the other ones. But anyway, these refried beans. So we have our creamy refried beans that we make from dried beans on the site. Those are my favorite beans. They're delicious because they're from dried, and it just makes sense. They're just everything's made from scratch there. But these are really just really quick from canned. If you don't have time for that, for something like this, we thought it would be just nice to do like canned beans. But again, it's just, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients, and basically just onions, garlic, a tiny bit of each with some cumin, and the beans, and it's just the balance is so good. And then you let them cook down on the stove and mash them up in 10 minutes. And they're ready, or 15 minutes. I'm looking at the recipe right now. 15 minutes. It's just making that little bit of effort makes all the difference, because when you taste these beans, they're delicious. It's like, okay, well, now I have the beans. I already made my crumbles yesterday. I already have my cheese sauce. When it's time to put them all together and you dig into this, it's so good. So that little bit of effort is so worth it.
And things like that. I mean, having it like a can of beans, and beans are cheap, but having it just a can of beans in the pantry, and it's like, oh, I can make, like, do we have a bag of beans? And then I gotta, soak them and do this and, make the whole massive process, especially if you have an Instant Pot or something. But yeah, it's super quick and they're super tasty. Way better than, and I've gotten like whatever brands, La Preferita or whatever, refried beans.
Oh,
they are fine. They are okay. You can get the vegetarian style, or they don't have lard or whatever they put in the authentic ones, but they're okay. I mean, they taste fine, but man, they don't taste as good as these.
No, these are so good. Yeah. I can't eat those canned refried. I don't know. I've tried, and I think I used to eat them, but now
I don't mind them. In a pinch, I mean, if I'm strapped, I mean, sometimes I'll have a can. If they're on sale, I'll buy a can and just have them on hand, because if I want to be able to do it in a second, or if I'm out of regular beans, I'll whip it up.
I think I had a bad can, because like sometimes when you taste the can.
Yeah.
I think I had a bad can and it turned me off to those. But I remember I used to eat them, the vegan fat-free beans and the refried beans. But why, when you have a can of pinto beans in your cupboard and you could just make them in 10 minutes?
Right.
It's delicious.
For as easy it is to heat up the other can of refried beans, it's just as easy to make these and put them in and it takes an extra step of mashing them. So.
Yeah. And, like we keep saying, maybe make a double recipe of these beans. Maybe just have them for Taco Tuesday. Put them on, make tostadas if you don't want to do this whole. Just try the components, like the gravy I was talking about. Just try these beans, Try the taco sauce and put it in a squeezy bottle in your fridge and squirt it on different things. I mean, kind of get used to playing around with these things. That's what we do. And it's fun, and it just always works. They all work together. It's just crazy how they do. Kim said she's excited to try the Mexican pizza. Yay. I can't wait for you to see it, because I love that you post and inspire everybody to try these. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that either text or sometimes they'll jump into the group and say, it's like, oh, I made this or I made that. It's like, post your photos. Like,
they don't.
we ate already, or it didn't look good. Like it's not beautiful. It doesn't matter. Like not everything's beautiful. It's great to see, especially like some of the older dishes too. I know I just talked to someone the other day, like, oh, I'm making more of the older stuff. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like you post some photo like that. We want to see it. We want to hear what you're making, man. There's so many people out there making stuff. And it's like, man, I wish more people would check in and show us what they're making. It's just exciting and fun to see that stuff.
I do notice that if somebody fairly recently made the mushroom soup, which I haven't made it now, probably in years. It is so delicious if you like mushroom soup. I know I sound like a broken record, but we only want to put out food that's delicious that we love, so it is. And somebody had posted it, and then I thought we were, that's something went wrong. No. And then somebody was like, oh, that looks so good. I'm going to try it. And then I made it that week. I mean, I get inspired all the time by posts. And then I thought, like, I forgot about it because I cook so much. I forgot about the mushroom soup. Mom would love that. I should make it for her when she comes. It's all of that. And it just started a chain reaction of people making the mushroom soup then. And that's what we're looking for. It's like, I think that I might do that. I might go back. Oh, Mary just did that. She made the jerk chicken bowl, which is so good. And that jerk chicken sauce is delicious. Well, it's another thing that I
mixed it, and then she made a wrap.
It's a professional looking wrap. I need to see that video. I need her to show me how to do that. But we cook so much, like we always say, I forget that how good that was, and I don't go back to that right now because we're still in this. Someday when we have other people helping us more, when we could focus more on other things, I feel like I will go back to those. But what I might do is I might just bring up some of those old recipes and talk about them in the group because I want to inspire people. Sometimes it's intimidating when you go through the recipe box and you see all these delicious looking things. It's like, I don't know which one to pick, So I want to maybe highlight some of our favorites every week.
And a lot of times, I mean, I'm bad at this too, where it's like, if I'm presented with a lot of recipes, I always go with what I'm familiar with. Oh, the burger or whatever it is. And it's like, I miss out on the shawarma wraps and I miss out on the, things that I normally wouldn't make. In this way, I mean, I'm not that I'm forced to make it, but obviously creating recipes and doing that, we're making it's like, oh, this is so good. I may have never made this had I even just saw it, unless there's people talking about it and saying how delicious it is. And again, I give kudos to you when we made those banh mi tacos. Same thing. It's like, oh, I wouldn't have put carrots on it. Peanut butter,
cilantro.
Sauce. That doesn't sound right. Cilantro. What a weird mix. Man, those are one, and I always talk about them, obviously, but like those are one of my favorite things now. It's like, no, we got to have the carrot. And I tell you, you got to have the carrots. You have to put a little slice of jalapeno, stack it on there.
Bite of everything.
Yeah, purple cabbage. Like, I don't think I bought a purple cabbage my whole life until we started this way. Now it's like, I got one in the fridge right now. There's always purple cabbage on
here. Right, because now you know what you could do with that purple cabbage. Now you're throwing it into stir fries and other things, and that's what we're trying to do here. Inspire everybody with these colors and flavors and nutrients and all of it. Taste.
Yes, indeed. So I hope you enjoyed the Friday Live. Don't forget, we have the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast. We talk about all different things. It's not just the meal plan, but we got a handful of great episodes coming up. We're super excited. The next couple are going to be a lot of fun.
Tuesday we have navigating social events, and Phil and I go through like all these kind of funny stories of things that we've experienced in this plant-based life. So it's kind of a fun one.
Make sure you listen. That'll drop on Tuesday. Every Tuesday we'll put out a new podcast. Just search for SmartyPlants wherever you find podcasts. If you want to join our Facebook group, come check us out there. You can ask questions, post photos, do whatever.
Invite your friends. We want to grow our group.
Yeah, interact. We also have, if you're interested in the weekly meal plan, I'll put a link here. Well, it's not a link, but you can go to that if you like, or our 28-day meal plan there as well.
Get in our Kickstart group. We got to get another group going soon.
Yeah. I was thinking about trying to maybe do that in May. So maybe we'll do another Kickstart group in May. That'll be fun. We took a little break to get the podcast launched, and we're still getting a feel for it. As you can see today, we're running a little bit late, but the week is kind of packed full of stuff to do. But it doesn't take a ton of extra time, I guess, but still time taken away from other things. So anyway. Hope you enjoyed the show, and everybody have a great day and a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye-bye, everybody. Have a nice
See ya.
weekend.